Alright, welcome back to another review on my little channel here on YouTube. So today's episode is Season 5, Episode 11 of The Walking Dead. So, as you should know, I'm going to be just talking about the episode and my thoughts on it. So if you don't want to listen to spoilers, you don't have to. You can leave right now. But anyways, let's get right into the episode. So today's episode starts out with the group in the barn, of course. And then we hear Sasha knocking on the door. So, of course, Rick and the others are like, that must be them. So, they open up the door, and, of course, Aaron's with them. So, of course, Rick automatically flips out and doesn't believe Aaron at all. So, when they find this out, Aaron pretty much tries to talk to Rick and the whole group. So, as they're talking, and Aaron's like, here, there are some photos in my backpack. You can look at them because this is my group, or this is my camp that I'm at. And, of course, they're like, okay, let's look at his photos. Rick pulls out the photos, starts looking at them. Aaron's like, yeah, those are the first pictures with the fence all around our place. It's steel 15 feet high, and there's no zombies ever going to be coming in. At that point, Rick's like, okay, I don't really trust you, and he comes over to Aaron and hits him in the jaw pretty much, knocking him on the ground. Rick gets Rick gets everyone ready for an attack because, of course, Rick's like, why is this guy here? I don't trust him because every other group that we ran into tried to kill us. So at this point, Rick's like, yeah, everybody get ready for attack, just in case his group comes after us. Because, of course, Aaron already knew Rick's name. So, they tie him up, and then they sit him back up, because he's on the ground, just kneeling, and they pretty much sit him up. Rick asks him more questions, like how many more people's in his group, but Aaron avoids the question and says how good Rick's group is. He thinks that they're good people. So Rick just automatically says again, how many more people's in your group? Or how many people's with you? Aaron says at this point, only one. So Rick doesn't believe him, but of course Michonne seems like the really obvious person to say, yeah, maybe we should believe him. Maybe I can see where his group is, or see where his transportation is. And everybody's like, yeah, maybe we should do that because this is really a good opportunity because of the photos and everything that they just seen. So, of course, Rick's like, okay, I can't fight all of you, so let's get a few people out there looking for the cars, and yeah, we'll find out if this guy is telling the truth or not. So, some of the group goes off and looks for these cars. And Rick just says to Aaron, saying, if these people aren't back within 60 minutes, you're dead. So, of course, Aaron at this point is like, oh crap, what have I just walked into? Boop. At this point, we find out who's looking for the cars or vehicles, whatever you want to say, and this one guy who Aaron says that he's with. So, Michonne, Maggie, ooh, I got that mixed up. But Michonne, Maggie, Glenn, Abraham, and Rosita are the ones who's looking. Then we go back to Aaron. Aaron's with Rick. They're the only ones in the building right now. And Aaron says he doesn't like the baby crying because he's tied up, and if there's going to be a swarm of zombies coming after them, and he's tied up, he can't defend himself, so he doesn't like the baby crying. But Rick doesn't care, and he's like, pretty much says, shut your mouth, or, yeah. And he keeps on saying, you got 44 minutes left, if they don't come back, you're dead, so think about that. And then we go back to the searching group. The searching group says, or they pretty much find the vehicles that Aaron's talking about. They trust them a little, oh my god. They trust him a little bit more, and they drive the vehicles back. So once they drive the vehicles back, Rick says, we're still not going. We're taking all his stuff, and we're just not believing him at all. And then the group's like, but we want to go. We want to trust this guy, Rick. And Rick pretty much says, okay, we're going. Because if the whole group wants to go and he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay in a group, pretty much. He wants to lead this group and stay in a bigger group because they can defend themselves. That's what I think anyways. So, Rick says they're leaving at night, and everybody's looking at him like, what did he just say? Is he just say we're leaving at night where it's going to be really dangerous? But then Rick says, if we're not allowing them to see us come to their group, we want to have the upper hand. Of course, at that point, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. So, they leave at night, and Michonne and Rick talk for a bit. Then Rick says, Rick says, pretty much, if I don't hear voices inside their fences, I'm not going in. Because what happened during the Woodbury, and I can't remember now, like the other group, oh my god. I can't remember the other group right now, but it's the fenced off area where the cannibals were, and if he doesn't hear noises, he's not going in, because the other, Woodbury and that cannibal group, there was no noises, so there was no groups of people inside and talking and everything like that, being happy. So, of course, at this point, they drive off during the night. Michonne talks to Aaron. She pretty much just asks him random questions, and she's like to Rick, did you ask him the 3 questions? So, of course, the 3 questions are like, how many people did you kill? How many walkers did you kill? And why did you kill people? So, she asked Aaron that, and they get a response, and they don't like it. But at this point, who cares about the 3 questions? Because they drive into a friggin' horde, because they're not looking at the roads, and they're being like Lori right now. So, they drive into a horde, and they stop. They try to see if all the other groups behind them, because at this point we only see Rick, Glenn, Michonne, and Aaron. They're the ones in the car in front of the group that hit all the horde. So they're like, okay, let's see if the other people are behind us. They get out, jump on top of the car, and look behind. They don't see them, and they try to start up the car again, but of course it won't start. A flare goes off. Aaron's like, oh no, I gotta go. I gotta really go, because I don't know why at this point, but he tries to bolt it out of there for some reason. So, of course, Aaron leaves them. Then Glenn, they're of course fighting all the zombies around them. Glenn goes into the woods, he's by himself, and he finds Aaron. Then at this point, we find out Aaron's like, pretty much says to him, if you want to go to my group, we have to leave right now. Alright, you might notice some cuts, but that's just for me editing. So let's get back into it. We start back with Michonne and Rick. They're killing some zombies because, of course, they're in a horde. And why do you need to have a Walking Dead episode without zombies? Without story or whatever. But anyways, they're killing some walkers, then they run out of ammo. Of course, at this point, they're starting to pull out knives, and it looks like they're gonna die. But we can't have main characters die. Of course, we can have everybody else die, but, you know, main characters. Glenn and Aaron come around the corner and save them. Then, of course, we can't have this end of the episode. They have to find the other group, so, of course, they find the other group. Or the Abraham and everybody else. At this point, we find Eric. Eric is with Aaron, and of course, he can sprint apparently 1,000 miles per second because he's with Abraham and everybody. He has a broken ankle, of course, at this point, because we need to have somebody with an injury. And then we find out Aaron and Eric are couples. They're 2 guys. They're gay, of course. But anyways, they talk and then they kiss because we need to know that they are gay. And it's pretty cool because it's actually in the comics, but oh well. So, Rick steps in, and then Aaron talks to the whole group, saying, yeah, we need to go in the daytime and whatnot if you want to come to our group. Rick still does not like Aaron, and Rick pretty much talks to, not Rick, but Glenn talks to Rick saying, we gotta really trust these people because I really want to believe this is true. So Rick's like, okay, I believe you, let's do this. Then we start out with the next day. They're driving a car that they found, I'm guessing, and the camper. They start driving. Noah and Aaron, just making sure I have the names right. Noah and Aaron talk, and they pretty much talk about his leg because there's a surgeon in Alexandria. And of course, Noah's like, "Oh, really?" And I didn't like it at this point because in the comics, it's a girl doctor, but in the TV show, it's like this guy's the new guy. He's the doctor. But anyways, it's just a small thing that I didn't like. But of course, they break down. Then Glenn helps fix the camper because of course we can't have Glenn and Daryl because Daryl taught Glenn how to fix the camper before, and of course Glenn's like, yeah, I know how to fix a camper because Daryl taught me. So of course they fix the camper, and Michonne and Rick talk for a bit. When the camper's running, Rick's like, I gotta go for a minute, I'll be right back, I just need a minute to cool off pretty much, and whatever. So Rick goes off and hides a gun inside of a blender. At this point, I'm like, okay, it must be just a thing where if they do get overrun or whatever, it's just pretty much a gun just so he can run off, get over the fence, and there's a gun just for him. So, of course, he just hides a gun. Then they see... Ooh, what am I talking about here? Walks off, hides a gun. Rick, okay. Then they start driving off again because, of course, the camper's fixed, like I said. And then they see DC. Abraham and Rosita say something, pretty much saying, we made it. Don't worry, we made it, and everything like that. And then they get to Alexandria. Rick rolls down the window, and he starts listening. He hears kids playing and just other people having fun inside the fence. And he's like, I trust this guy now, because at that point, he's like, there's people actually inside having fun and everything like that. So, they get out and go to the gate. There's the whole episode. So, I just wanted to point out, because if you ever wanted to read where the comics are, you can pretty much get volume 12. And I know it's like really dark for some reason, my camera's not showing up. Well, but there's Aaron in the comics. This is the part where he finds Rick's group and everything like that, and they get to Alexandria. So it's a really cool read if you ever wanted to get volume 12 and find out where we're at in the TV show compared to the comics. But anyways, that's the whole episode. Now, what did I think about this episode? I thought it was okay for what it was, but I just don't like Rick's attitude, pretty much, saying that he can't believe anybody and whatnot. But of course, he has a family, and he didn't have a baby in the comics, so he was a little bit more tough, because he only had Carl, because Carl was, how old? I can't remember how old he is in the comics, but like 13, 15, and he knows that he can survive by himself. But yeah, I thought it was okay for what it was. Some things that I'm going to think that's happening during this, and I think there's only three or four more episodes left. I think they're going to find Alexandria, and they're going to be having these things like filler episodes for the last little bit, and then Jesus is going to pop up, because there's a guy called Jesus in the comics. So just so you know, I'm not like crazy or whatever. But anyways, Jesus is going to pop up probably in the end of this season, saying, yeah, there's more communities out there if you don't believe me. And then we're going to find out the hilltop. But that's more to come. I don't really want to spoil the rest of it if it does happen. But anyways, like usual, see you around.